Cuts. Cradle under the star.
Hello, fellow Clock Tower fans. Welcome to another episode of Deep Cuts, a podcast interview series provided by us at Team Cuts, where we deliver the details to you, the Clock Tower community. I'm your host, Cuts co-founder, Diario, and today we're joined by Ecdycis. How you doing, Nick?
Doing all right. Hope you're all doing good.
Yeah, thank you very much for sitting down and joining us today. Let's go ahead and talk about Clock Tower and the like. Of course, we know we're here for a particular little game called Clock Tower, but you do run a bunch of other horror and non-horror games. What are some of your favorite titles to run or play?
I'd say I have probably a few franchises outside of Clock Tower. I think the other two major ones are Silent Hill games and Dead Rising games. Dead Rising probably being on par with Clock Tower for what I play.
Oh, Dead Rising runs must be a lot of fun to play. Those games get pretty wacky.
They are. They definitely are.
How did you discover Clock Tower? Was it through publication, like newspapers, maybe a friend referred to it to you? Did you stumble upon the series by chance?
I had a friend bring it up one day. I remember I think I just graduated high school or something, and I was eating food with some friends, and we're talking about horror games, and one of my buddies mentioned this obscure horror game that he didn't know the name of, where he just had you play as like a teenage girl running away from a guy with a giant pair of scissors who walked weird. And that ended up being Clock Tower 2, or Clock Tower PS1. Mm-hmm. And after that, we kind of just fell in love with it, and then, went pretty much from there.
Well, so Clock Tower 2, which is Clock Tower PS1 in the US, you jumped from there to the first game. Was it the Super Famicom version of the game that you jumped to, or was it PS1, or...?
I was one of the fan translations of the Super Famicom version.
Oh, okay, gotcha. What are your standout moments from your gameplay of the series? Like, when you think of Clock Tower, you think of this.
Do you mean like standout moments I've had of the series, or like best moments in the franchise? I'm at that.
Either or, like any standout memories, like any like first encounters with Scissorman, for instance, or any just favorite moments from your gameplay.
Easily the best one has to be the bathtub. Like, just having Laura in the bathtub, it's iconic.
Yeah.
I think it's everyone's first thought when it comes to that. Mm-hmm. Because, well, like, Anne's death is cool, but with Laura, when you're playing the game, you hear the noise, you stop, it's like, wait, something's going on here. You don't immediately go to the other area, you probably go to the bathroom first. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very iconic first encounter to Scissorman, for sure, and it's heavily advertised in, like, a lot of the game's promotional material. That's also I think one of the canon ways that, one of the canon parts of the storyline based on the mangas, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I think the first time I played Clock Tower Super Famicom was the bathtub scene, and I was freaked out, because then all of a sudden comes out these giant pair of scissors, and you kind of at the same time wonder, how long did he have to be submerged underwater for you to just set up that jump scare? Like,
he was chilling.
Yeah, just maxing, relaxing. You played all the games, including Haunting Ground, Nightcry, even the mobile game that has come and gone. Yeah. So, favorite game, favorite story, favorite main character, and favorite antagonist?
All of it really has to go back to the original game, not gonna lie. Like, even if you counted Haunting Ground, the original Clock Tower Super Famicom is just something else. When it came out, who you have, I like Jennifer, the whole the phenomena kind of story basis. I think the first game really just hits in a way none of the other ones do.
Yeah, I totally agree. And yeah, no matter what other installments exist, and all of them are fine installments on their own right. Yeah, it is collectively the first game that a lot of people really come back to. It's Scissorman's basically like the face of the series, if not Jennifer.
Absolutely.
So then that leads into my next question. What do you think it is about Clock Tower that has generated the legacy and the fan base that it has?
Well, I think there's a couple things, because I don't think a lot of people actually just really knew about it till like later. I think there's more of a recent boom, but not like super recent, but like in the last like maybe 10 years. Mm-hmm. But just kind of knowing that there was another major horror game franchise that existed that was really limited to Japan, really. And then just kind of hearing that it came out around the same time as Resident Evil. It was exclusive to the Super Nintendo, or Super Famicom in that case. And then also just being really different was, I think, is the main thing. Like, not a lot of games really had the whole power dynamic that Clock Tower did. Most games, you had the ability to fight, but you never had the never-ending stalker kind of mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of nice just having something different from the, being able to shoot your enemies, being able to just, beat them up. It was nice.
I think what also helps it is the amount of possible endings you could find within the game. There's a little bit more variety to the gameplay experience. Oh, what was the first ending you got, like, when you first ever, like, played Clock Tower Super Famicom?
The car one. It was one of those things when you're playing, you get a little bit lost, you find the car key, and then, you're thinking, hey, every other game doesn't let me do this. And then you try it out, and it's like, will this work? You keep trying it, and then eventually the car just starts, and you're like, wait, that worked.
Right. And
then you get the credits, and then afterwards, like, hey, wait, we're out. And then you get the stinger, and then it becomes even more worth it.
Yeah, that's another iconic ending as well. Yeah. When the shears just kind of just pop out in the back car seat, you think that you're out, but that's another good ending. I agree. Give us like a little bit of a timeline to when you got into speedrunning. How did you get into speedrunning? Was Clock Tower the first game that you ran, or was it the first game that you decided to seriously run?
Well, I got into it because I used to watch a lot of people I used to work an IT job, and I was like, hey, this seems kind of fun. Why not try it? It could be like a fun little thing to do. So this is really before I even started really streaming, but I tried a few games, none really clicked, but the first one that really clicked was Clock Tower. And then everything just kind of made sense when I started doing it. I originally actually wanted to do the PS1 version, but then I looked into it and it didn't seem very fun.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then the SNES one seemed interesting enough, our Super Famicom one.
Yeah, through watching your streams through your Clock Tower marathons and your console playthrough of the Super Famicom game, it seems that you've really narrowed it down to a very fine time. What is your current time with the game?
Depending per category, it varies, but I think it's like a 12:08 for ascending, which is the main category. Let me double check here. 12:09.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Crazy that the game could be accomplished with that ending in that short of a time. Then talk to us a bit about your approach for runs. For those not familiar with running these titles, Clock Tower has a fair amount of tricks up its sleeve for those that get into running with the game. You've shown some of them over the years, such as that quick click mechanic in order to skip Bobby when you first encounter him through the Anne Chandelier death, and you just skip him and just go straight to the stairs. So just talk to us a bit about that.
Well, funny enough, that was actually the first trick I ever learned, like in any game, and it just sort of made sense. It took a while to figure out what exactly was happening, but generally the idea is that in the original Clock Tower, Bobby will only react to things. However, actions take priority over reactions. So if you click on the stairs, you can just run past Bobby, and then the other, after you just stop going to the stairs, after you pass them, and then you just keep moving left. And that allows you to kind of bypass the entirety of having to hide from Bobby. Because normally you'd have to, you can actually just exit the room, re-enter, but that takes long, so you don't want to do that.
So your favorite game to run, is it Clock Tower Super Famicom? Is it another game in the series that you like to run? And do you have like a least favorite game that you like to run, but you'll run anyways?
It would either be the original Clock Tower or Haunting Ground for the Clock Tower series. And then least favorite, I don't really think too much about least favorite. Like, there's usually ebbs and flows. Sometimes a bad game can be kind of fun, but I don't ever tend to grind something I don't like doing.
No, that's fair. That's totally fair. And even what is regarded as the least popular games in the Clock Tower series are still very much enjoyable.
Yeah. Like Nightcry is definitely a neat one, but
oh my god. How do you approach a run for Nightcry?
I don't actively run it anymore because it kind of kills your hands. But it's fun.
It seems like based on like how the game is structured, you really have to like be precise with your clicks.
Oh no, it's the fact that you have to kind of just mash every button to try and force the game to lag.
Oh, so it's just mashing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You have to do it on every load.
Oh god, that does sound painful to your hands.
It's a bit tedious.
Is there a game, horror or non-horror, that you plan to learn and run at some point? Maybe anything just in the back of your mind, you're like, oh, I'd like to run this someday.
I've been learning a bunch lately. So kind of stuff like a general list of things will come up. Like, I want to do Shadow of the Colossus. I want to do the Evil Within 2. Probably do a little bit more Resident Evil games because I've kind of been doing more of the RE games.
Which RE game have you been running recently?
Well, recently I learned how to do Code Veronica and Zero. but I feel like consistently doing so, it's kind of been weird. I haven't had a lot of time to like grind anything out. It's kind of been either showcases or new games.
Gotcha.
So I think most recent was 0.
Okay, gotcha. You've been running a plethora of games. A lot of people can catch your streams through Twitch. You've been going to GDQ. I know you got Clock Tower into GDQ recently, right?
Yeah. The upcoming AGDQ in January.
That is going to be fun to watch. I'm going to have to tune in to watch that.
I'm excited.
So that must have been a big deal because I think prior to that, the first game, the Super Famicom game, hadn't really been brought into AGDQ by anyone before.
Nope.
Yeah, so definitely going to be a fun watch. Speaking about the Super Famicom game, as we're well aware, Clock Tower is getting its official worldwide debut thanks to Way Forward with Sunsoft and Capcom. What was your reaction to the announcement? And I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but are you looking forward to the release?
Yeah, I was really happy to hear they got announced. I had a feeling something was going to come up just for like a few reasons. Just because, you don't normally make a weird mobile game for a dead franchise.
Yeah.
But no, I'm excited for it. A lot of people were complaining on Twitter when it dropped because they're complaining about the art style, but it's literally just like, a nicer version of the manga. I'm not too worried about that. I think it's going to look great.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's crazy that we're living in a world where Clock Tower Revival is happening, but, we're glad to see it. So excited to hear more about the game when it releases. So now, if people want to watch an Ecdycis stream or watch an Ecdycis run, where can people find you on social media?
Pretty much Ecdycis everywhere. Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. That works just anywhere.
Cool. That concludes our interview podcast segment. Thank you again very much, Ecdycis, for coming here and joining us today.
Absolutely.
And if you guys want to check out more on Ecdycis, we'll have his socials in the description below. If you want to look for more Clock Tower content, you can follow us, hit that notification bell on our YouTube page to be notified when a new episode is up, and of course follow us on Twitter at The First Fear. This has been an episode of Deep Cuts, provided by Team Cuts. Thank you for watching, and remember, fear is fascinating.